No. Okay.
Oh no!
Hey y'all, good evening. Happy Wednesday. We are back. I'm gonna try to do this because this is kind of neat. This is another Kenneth Copeland proclamation thingy. We're gonna try this. Let's try this. I declare that I have a strong spirit.
I declare that I have a strong spirit.
I look to Jesus.
I look to Jesus
And wrap myself in the promises of God.
and wrap myself in the promises of God
For everything.
for everything.
Spirit,
Spirit,
soul,
soul,
body,
body,
financially,
financially,
and socially.
and socially.
That's good, ain't it? That's a good one. I like it. Short and sweet to the point. It's a good one. All right, we are picking up Revelation again, which really isn't in Revelation. If you remember our last prophecy before Christmas, where me and Matt was in the dining room, we talked about Matthew 24 being the spinal column of end-time prophecy, or the prophecy of Jesus, which is also in the Gospel of Luke and Mark. But we are focusing on Matthew 24. We got as far as, I think, verse 15. Well, verse 14 is about how far we went through. And I've got a little summarization.
Okay.
If you want to put it on the screen.
I don't have it.
You don't have it? You didn't?
No,
It didn't get.
no.
Okay, that's fine. Oh, well. I hope y'all got ink, pen, and paper if y'all want to write the summarization of signs, where Jesus was telling what would happen toward the end of the age. And the age that he's speaking of there is the age of the Gentiles.
Matthew 24.
Matthew 24. This is a kind of recap of the list. Okay? The first thing of... This is yours. Yeah. The first thing of note was there would arise false Christs. And we talked about how there's like over 40 documented in the Jewish encyclopedia alone that claim to be Christ. Anyway.
These are
These are signs.
signs of
Yeah.
the second coming.
Yeah. Well, technically he said, don't be alarmed. This quote unquote ain't a sign, but it's getting cooking. Okay. I'll let you know where we get into the official beginning of labor pains and the signs of the return. All right. So we have false Christs. We have wars and rumors of wars. Nation against nation or ethnic wars. Kingdom against kingdom, political wars. And I said, but this isn't the end. Okay? This is just what's going to be going on in this broken world. Then we have the beginning of labor. Here's the 3 signs of the beginning of labor pains. Famine, pestilence or diseases, and earthquakes in diverse places.
You have to go a little bit slow, baby.
Yeah, you're going too fast.
Okay, I'm sorry. Forgive me.
What, famine?
Pestilence,
To pest. How do you spell pestilence?
Pestilence. Maybe. Maybe not. One L.
I put 2.
Oops.
Just sprinkle themselves.
Then whatever.
Sprinkle the
What
L's.
was the third one?
And earthquakes in diverse places. This is the beginning of the labor pains. Now, when the labor pains start, they're just going to get more intense and closer together, right? So it's not going to be one event. We're just going to start seeing it more and more frequently. And if you want some statistics, go back to our first video on the spinal cord, or building the spine of prophecy, and you'll hear statistics in there about the increase that we have seen. All right, so at that point, the beginning of labor, once those get cooking, will be delivered up to be afflicted and killed. Things like that have already been going on. Will be hated by the nations. Okay. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'll go slower. Trying to get to the new stuff.
Guess we can always go back and watch the video, can't we?
Well, just
Yeah, just go ahead.
oh, you're good. You're good. No, it's fine. It's fine. I can wait. I got all night. Okay, let's see, be hated by nations. Many will be offended. This is within the church or among the believers. Offended. Offense will come. And then these next two, again, talk about within the church. Betrayal and hatred. Hate one another and they'll betray one another. And we see this going on. And it's going to just intensify. Iniquity shall abound in the world so much that the love, agape love, of many will wax cold, evaporate out. That's from within the church. We can't be so overwhelmed by the iniquity going on that we lose our God love. We can't do that. It says, he that endures shall be saved. And it says, and the gospel is preached in all the world, then shall the end come. That's the big one. That's what we're waiting on. That's the signal of the end of the age of the Gentiles. That's the end of this age.
What was the last thing you said?
The gospel preached in all the world.
Okay.
That's the big one. And that relies solely upon the church. We talked about the good news and the standard because it's the full gospel. It's not just part of it. It's not a partiality thing there. All right, so we're going to continue on. I've got some more stuff to add to our list about the conditions of this world that will be found in 2 Timothy. But let's just keep moving, shall we? So we're in verse 15. And I'm reading in the King James Version, Matthew 24:15. When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand. Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house, neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. But pray that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. We talked about the things that will close the age of the Gentiles in Luke 21 last time. Israel regaining all of its ground will happen. That means they have yet to regain the site of their temple. Once their temple is established, that is the end of the age of the Gentiles. All this is going to converge on a timeline. We learned that, let's see, where was I in that rabbit hole? Further in the New Testament, I'll have to look up the reference again. It talks about what keeps the evil at bay. And until it's removed, the full amount of evil can't come into the world. That would be God's Spirit in the church. Well, when is he going to remove the obstacle to evil at the rapture? So there's things pointing. The birth pains are going to be rough, man. It ain't going to be fun by a long shot. But these things, it's looking like we may not be going through everything we thought we were going to go through, praise the Lord. We're going to go through enough. But anyway, so there's many views on this passage about the abomination of desolation, whether it's a single entity Antichrist or whether it's many types of Antichrist that have existed throughout history. For instance, let's see, hold on, I'll tell you. One guy came in and defiled the temple. He was the type of Antichrist. Here we go. In 168 BC, Antiochus Epiphanes sacrificed a pig to Zeus on the sacred temple altar. A lot of scholars think, okay, well, that was the abomination of desolation, came into the temple, desecrated the temple, whatever. Is it one instance? Is it a mindset? Don't know. Don't know. Could be something bigger. You know, we could be looking at the actual Antichrist sitting himself in the temple and declaring himself to be God. Don't know. But there's conflicting views there. Like I said from the beginning, hindsight's 20/20. But these are things to look for. Okay. Also, who was it? It was, I believe Derek Prince was also talking about this, part of this tying in with the passage from Luke 21 about going straight down and home when they would come in and destroy the temple in AD 70. So Jesus was talking short range and long range the whole time. Short range, long range, short range, long range. Just like in other prophecies, like in Isaiah, he starts out talking about the coming of Christ, and then he's into the second coming before you know it in the same chapter. So there's, different lengths of prophecy within it. Okay. Let's see. 22. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. The chosen. Now, who's God's chosen people? The Jewish people. That's right. So in that sense, if the church is raptured at that point, then it would be for the Jewish population's sake. He's going to shorten those days. Because the time of the Gentiles will come to an end, and then the Jews have their second chance. Verse 23. Then, if any man shall say unto you, Lo, here is Christ, or there, believe it not. For there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, as insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. Behold, I have told you before. Wherefore, if they shall say unto you, Behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Behold, he is in the secret chamber, believe it not. For as the lightning cometh out of the east, and shineth even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For wheresoever the carcass is, there will the eagles be gathered together. Or the vultures. You may not know where that dead carcass is, but you can see the buzzards circling in South Georgia lingo. You can see the buzzards. You have a good idea of where it's at.
There's something dead out there.
There's something dead out there. That's what Jesus was telling them. Look, you're not going to be able to pinpoint the exact day. I don't even know that. But look for the sign circling it. And you can say, ooh, it's right over there. It's just over the horizon. We're getting closer. It's a tighter circle going in. You should be able to see these things. You're not going to have time to get it right, That's the main thing. People like to think, oh, well, when I see this, then I know that I need to hurry up and get it. No, it ain't going to work that way. You ain't going to have time. It's going to be quick. Jesus ain't going to come and be hanging out for a week and then decide to rapture the church. You don't think that's how it's going to work. 29. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken, and then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. Now learn a parable of the fig tree. When his branch is yet tender, and putteth forth leaves, you know that summer is nigh. So likewise ye, when ye shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the doors. Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. We know Israel is the fig tree. How do you know what a tree is? When the leaves start coming on, you can start identifying that plant. Israel regained its ground and started budding into a nation, coming together. Well, I don't think it's a coincidence that there's this drive, it seems, for people to find what tree they're a part of. Trees are putting on their leaves now. We're seeing ethnic groups grouping together. I'm this, I'm that, I'm whatever. It's following suit, following after what Israel is doing. Israel regained its ground, its historical ancestry, its birthright. We're Israel. We brought back a dead language. That don't usually happen. I saw, what was it that they did? They brought back the extinct olive tree. Yeah. They were able to bring back an olive tree that went extinct in Israel, a native tree. It's very cool. You can YouTube it. It's great. Yeah. They found ancient seeds and started germination processes, and they brought it back to life. It don't work that way typically, but Israel did it. So that was Israel became a nation in 1948.
Israel was really turned into a very fertile agricultural.
Oh yeah. Because they're blessed.
Man,
They're
they-
blessed.
They're blessed.
Not just
Bless God's people.
But I'm getting
Science,
at, yeah.
technology, they lead.
They lead.
in a lot
Everything.
of areas.
Yes. Okay. Now we're going to get into some pictures, some parables. It's really fun. So, here we go. But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. Jesus don't even know. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Life is going to go on. It's going to be business as usual, and then all of a sudden it's too late. Then shall two be in the field, the one shall be taken and the other left. Two women shall be grinding at the mill, the one shall be taken and the other left. Watch therefore, for ye know not what hour your Lord doth come. But know this, that if the good man of the house had known in what watch the thief would come, he would have watched, and he would not have suffered his house to be broken up. Therefore, be ye also ready, for in such an hour as ye think not, the Son of Man cometh. Prepare. Understand the signs. Understand what's going on. Understand that you have to be in an endurance mindset. It doesn't matter how you start. It matters if you finish. Be watchful. Who then is a faithful and wise servant, whom his Lord hath made ruler over his household, to give them meat in due season? Blessed is the servant whom his Lord, when he cometh, shall find him so doing. Verily I say unto you, that he shall make him ruler over all his goods. But, and if that evil servant shall say in his heart, my Lord delayeth his coming, and shall begin to smite his fellow servants, and to eat and drink with the drunken, the Lord of that servant shall come in a day when he looketh not for him, and in an hour that he is not aware of, and shall cut him asunder, and appoint him his portion with the hypocrites. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. mind what we're supposed to do. Yeah, go for it.
I heard, I think it was Brother Keith Moore, preaching and teaching and saying, you know, we all think about going to heaven.
Yeah.
But you know, when we go to heaven, it's not just to be a big vacation.
Yeah.
We're determining here
What our role will be.
what our role is going to be there. And we are to be faithful.
Yes.
Faithful stewards here of what God has called us to do here and what He has blessed us with here. And if we're not faithful here, you know.
That's right. That's absolutely right. See, Jesus is switching gears now. He's telling us not necessarily the signs, but the attitude and the mindset of endurance. That's what these parables are relating, the attitude, the attributes of those who will make it and those who will not. And this is within the church. This is not outside. This is not the heathens. This is within the church. They were both servants to the master, but one was good and one was evil.
Yeah.
You know, was I got plenty of time to get that right. I got plenty of time to work on that. You know, I'm gonna go over here. How dare you judge me? One of those types. No. So moving into chapter 25, it continues because Jesus didn't put chapters in there. Man did. Here we go. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish. They that were foolish took their lamps, and took no oil with them. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight there was a cry made, Behold, the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him. Then all those virgins arose, and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said unto the wise, Give us of your oil, for our lamps are gone out. But the wise answered, saying, Not so, lest there be not enough for us and you. But go ye rather to them that sell, and buy for yourselves. And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came. And they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. Afterwards came also the other virgins, saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. But he answered and said, Verily I say unto you, I know you not. Watch therefore, for ye know neither the day nor the hour wherein the Son of Man comes. Feeding yourself. Having oil to spare. Your spiritual walk. You know, I get up here 3 times a week. Sometimes we send stuff on the thread, but it's up to the individual person to have what they're going to put in themselves. Getting in that word for themselves. Choosing to listen to, you know, teaching or to listen to a Facebook Live video or whatever. You know, I'm not against Facebook Live. There's some good teaching. There's some good funny stuff. But what are we pouring into ourselves? Because the foolish ones ran out. They dried up. It was gone. They didn't have enough to endure. There may come a day when we don't have this in front of us. Would you be able to live a life pleasing to God without it? I mean, that's the mindset we have to be. Do we know enough of the Word to be able to follow Him faithfully? Do we have enough of a relationship? Have we trained our ear to hear the Holy Spirit enough to be able to rely on that? Or are we still wishy-washy? Because that's the difference in the wise and the foolish. See, the foolish wanted to go get more pumped in them real quick so that they'd have enough to look good. But it was too late. But
the diligent.
They had it in reserve. They had it in reserve.
Filling.
Yeah. We're cracked pots. We should always be refilling. Constantly. Have it in reserve. Verse 14. For the kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling into a far country, who called his own servants and delivered unto them his goods, and said unto one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, to every man according to his several ability, and straightway took his journey. Then he that had received the 5 talents went and traded with the same, and made them other 5 talents. So he increased to 10 talents. And likewise he that had received 2, he also gained other 2. So he moved to 4. But he that had received 1 went and digged in the earth and hid his Lord's money. After a long time, the Lord of those servants cometh and reckoneth with them. And so he that had received 5 talents came and brought other 5 talents, saying, Lord, thou deliveredst unto me 5 talents. Behold, I have gained beside them 5 talents more. His Lord said unto him, Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. He also that had received 2 talents came and said, Lord, thou delivered unto me 2 talents. Behold, I have gained 2 other talents beside them. His Lord said unto him, Well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of the Lord. Then he which had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I know thee that thou art an hard man, reaping where thou hast not sown, and gathering where thou hast not strawed. And I was afraid, and went and hid thy talent in the earth. Lo, there thou hast that is thine.
He thought he had done good.
Yeah. His Lord answered and said unto him, Thou wicked and slothful servant, thou knewest that I reap where I sowed not, and gather where I have not strawed. Thou oughtest therefore to have put my money into the exchangers, and then at my coming it should have received mine own with usury. Take therefore the talent from him, and give it unto him which hath 10 talents. For unto every one that hath shall be given, and he shall have abundance. But from him that hath not shall be taken away even that which he hath. And cast ye the unprofitable servant into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. We are all given according to our abilities. Some of us start out in different places in life. Some of us start out with different knowledge of the Word. But it's still up to us what we're going to do with it, how far we're going to take this Christian walk. If we decide that we don't want to go no further than where I'm at right now, we are burying our talent. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. And when we dig it up out the ground and brush it off and show Jesus, I stayed right here, we're going to get kicked out the door. Because we're called to grow, we're called to progress, we're called to move into perfection.
That'd be kind of equal to coming to church and that's it. Taking up spot. Be counted.
Done enough. Good enough. Good enough. Good enough. Are we seeing it, the attitude that we have to have if we're going to endure? I mean, to me, I look at this and I see these attitudes prevalent in the church world. Both. You can see both. Lord, help me to be on the right side of the parable. Because we don't know the exact day. We can look at the signs, and the signs all point to any minute. That's just it. They point to literally any minute. And we have to be aware. Okay.
You know, I was having a discussion this morning with someone. And they were talking about a story that popped up about a school that the reading that they were giving the children was basically pornography. And the mayor of the city, he told the school board, he made it public knowledge, I'm coming after You know, I'm gonna get everybody out, all of these jobs to this because you're feeding our children. We're agreeing to give this to our children. And this person asked, she said, what is going on in this world? I says, honey, pick the Bible and read it. It's biblical. What's good is bad and bad is good. I says, it's all coming into play. It's all right here in our face right now.
That's right.
And now they're trying to mandate again get Pope. You know, they're back on that again. So, you know, it's all they're trying to start to mandate. Biden and his group. So, I mean, everything that we're talking about and everything that, you know, it has to do with everything we're hearing here today. And I mean, it's sign of times.
Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
That's all I'm trying to point out. It's like, look what they're doing to our children. Look what they're doing to the people that's supposedly take our place when we get old and we go away, and they're supposed to come up. And I mean, and that's scary.
And you know, I think as the people in New York, they're turning in people that are not vaccinated. I mean, they're and it says that, you know, they'll
deliver you up.
They'll deliver you up.
Yeah. So there you
That's
go.
exactly what they're doing.
And it begins.
Yeah. It's
intensifying. It's just the Bible fulfilled.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Let's talk about this final judgment. Verse 31. When the Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all the holy angels with him, and then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory, and before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left. Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, Come ye blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was an hungered, and ye gave me meat. I was thirsty, and ye gave me drink. I was a stranger, and ye took me in. Naked, and ye clothed me. I was sick, and ye visited me. I was in prison, and ye came unto me. Then shall the righteous answer him, saying, Lord, when saw we thee an hungered, and fed thee, or thirsty, and gave thee drink? When saw we thee a stranger, and took thee in, or naked, and clothed thee? Or when saw we thee sick, or in prison, and came unto thee? And the king shall answer and say unto them, Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me. That coming to visit is a visit with the intent to assess the need and meet it. It's not just oh, how are you? No, okay. Let's look. Let's see what they need and how we can set out to accomplish, to meet this need. See, love looks like an action. As believers, we should be moved with compassion when we see the imprisoned, whether it's physically or whether it's spiritually. You know, sometimes we need to be stirred with that compassion. That's what stirred Jesus. He was moved with compassion, and then he did all these things. You know, when we see the sick and the feeble, let's go minister healing. Let's go minister to what they need. When we see the hungry and the thirsty and the poor, we've got to be moved. This is true religion. This is true Christianity. This is the meat of the word. You know, I am so thankful to be in a church that we hear about something, you know, and we are stirred with compassion. We are moved with discernment as well, because, you know, anybody can grab a bucket. Anybody can grab a bucket. I'm just going to be real. But when the Spirit gives you that nudge, we should be moved with compassion and moved into action.
Yeah.
This is a sign of the sheep. Then shall he say unto them on the left hand, Depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. For I was an hungered, and ye gave me no meat. I was thirsty, and ye gave me no drink. I was a stranger, and ye took me not in. Naked, and ye clothed me not. Sick and in prison, and ye visited me not. Then shall they also answer him, saying, Lord, when saw we thee an hungered, or athirst, or a stranger, or naked, or sick, or in prison, and did not minister unto thee? Then shall he answer them, saying, Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye did it not to one of the least of these, ye did it not unto me. And these shall go away into everlasting punishment, but the righteous into life eternal. Okay, so that's Matthew's account of the spinal column to build our last days prophecy on. Okay, now our little fun list that we made. Remember Matthew 24 fun list at the beginning? I want to jump over to, where did I put it? To 2 Timothy 3, 1 through 9. Because this is things we can add to our list. Because Paul begins to tell Timothy what things to look for. 3. And we could read the whole chapter, but let's just focus on 1 through 9 right now. Because this is giving us some stuffs. I'm getting everywhere tonight. I feel like I got all the time. Just all the time. It's everywhere. Okay. Everybody there? 2 Timothy 3, 1 through 9. This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. I think that was one of Daddy's favorite verses. He quoted that all the time, that we was in perilous times. Perilous times. This word only shows up twice in the New Testament. It shows up here, and it shows up when referring to the area where the Gadarene demoniac lived. That it was a dangerous place. That it was violent. I mean, it's intense danger. Like, nobody went there. So that's how bad the last days are going to be. We're going to be in extremely dangerous times. For men shall be lovers of their own selves. They're going to be selfish. I don't know if you see selfishness abounding in the world today or not. Okay? They'll be covetous. Chasing that dollar. Wanting, money, toys. Boasters. Proud. Blasphemers. Now, I got to pull that one up. Let me see if I can get this going on. My tablet's been funny. Let's see. Blasphemers. Because it was a good one. Going to the Greek for blasphemers. It means speaking, let's see. Calamitous, or it's used in slanderous, to speak evil of, reproachful, railing, or abusive. People making accusations. People slandering. People word vomit. Accusing. Slander. Talking bad. So that's what the blasphemer means. It could be directed at God. It could be directed at God's people. Disobedient to parents. I love how that's just smack right in the middle of it. Because it's showing you that this attitude, that this evil will permeate even the children.
Well, you can see that.
Oh, yeah. Unthankful. Entitled. They ain't thankful. Unholy. And Young's literal translates unholy as unkind. I thought that was interesting. Without natural affection. That means that they're not going to love the ones they're supposed to love, i.e. their family. Have you seen that?
Mm-hmm.
No love within family units.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's exactly what that is. Truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent. What that one is?
No self-control.
That's right. That's what I would think. Sorry, I'm thinking of all my mom's medical references.
The Nuking thing says that.
Yep.
Without
Intent.
self-control.
Yep. Without self-control.
False accusers really catches me because I see that a lot.
Yep.
Especially with the ones that are not godly.
Oh yeah.
They love to accuse the people in the church.
Oh yeah. Yep. Fierce. Fierce. That basically means untamed or savage. Out of control. Rebellious. Gonna do what they want to do. You're not gonna break them. Despisers of those that are good. Yeah. What you got there, Andy?
No, nothing.
Oh.
Renner said on that despisers of good.
Yep.
He said they hate instruction or correction.
Yep.
And they're haughty or high-minded.
Okay. That's right. So this, keep in mind, this is all the things that are going to construct the last days, the world's atmosphere. And you tell me how close we are. Traitors. Heady. High-minded. Lovers of pleasure more than lovers of God. Having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. From such turn away. Don't have nothing to do with them. If this describes anybody that has access to your ears, has access that you know outside of say work or places you can't avoid, the Bible says turn away from them. Don't give your ear to that. Don't be in that kind of a bubble, because that's the world. That is nothing to do with Christ. Turn away. For this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captive silly women laden with sins, led away with diverse lusts. They creep in. Oh, they can talk a little church, but they don't have any fruit to back it up. And they start, well, I really like that church, but what I have a problem with is this. And before you know it, you listening, and now all of a sudden you have a problem where a problem never was. You're being led captive. You're being led captive, imprisoned. Now, Christ came to set us free.
I come across this thing today online. I was doing some studying. I was looking up some stuff, and I come across something. I started reading it. And I was like, no.
Yeah.
I had to get out of there because of just the way they were wording things.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, they had so many different, and I'm like, man, this would confuse a scholar, man. Come on.
Yep.
I mean, yeah.
Nope.
Right.
That's right. These people are ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. For all their intelligence, for all their knowledge, they lack wisdom.
Well, you know, you're seeing that more and more and more. And it is actually a spirit.
Yeah. Of intellectualism.
Of intellectualism.
We see it.
They think that they are so smart, and they are smarter than you.
Mm-hmm.
And they are
not.
They know more than you do.
Mm-hmm.
And you're seeing it in children. They think that they know more than the adults. And it is a demonic spirit.
Yep.
Is what it is.
That's right. Okay, let's see. verse 8. Now as Jannes and Jambres withstood Moses, so do these also resist the truth. Men of corrupt minds reprobate concerning the faith, but they shall proceed no further, for their folly shall be manifest unto all men, as theirs also was. Got a little note on that one.
They were Egyptian magicians.
Yep, that's right. According to tradition, Jannes and Jambres were two of the magicians who had counterfeited Moses' miracles before Pharaoh. Paul explained that just as Moses had exposed and defeated them, God would overthrow the false teachers who were plaguing the Ephesian church. There are false things going on. So, that's some things you can add to your list of end times. Anybody got anything they want to chime in with? Everybody's quiet. Why? Go too far, too fast?
A lot of that unlove.
Yeah.
And amongst the family that day.
Mm-hmm.
It was sad what I was witnessing.
Yeah. Yep.
It's hard to read this because, like you said, you never see this.
Yeah.
Well, you know, this has been in the works, y'all. This hadn't just started. This has been in the works for a number of years now. I know that, like in school systems, in universities, they are starting in kindergarten, programming the children.
Yep.
With a whole different mindset that is against morality, against, they're teaching it to them, and this has been going on for years and years and years, because see, they're programming their minds when they're like this.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're building on it.
That's right.
And by the time they get to the universities with these professors,
Young minds full of mush.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it.
Just finishing school. Started indoctrinating them, like you say.
yeah, and it's been going on for years.
For
and
years.
And that's exactly what it is. There's no other way to put it. It's indoctrination.
It is. Absolutely.
I mean, when you got people now that don't know what sex are, I mean, there's a problem, y'all.
Well, they're promoting it in school.
There is a problem that they don't know, and not wanting you to name your kid's gender on a birth certificate.
Yeah.
I mean, please.
Wow.
Tell me this is not of the devil.
Oh, yeah.
Very much so.
It used to just be, black against white for the longest time. And I'm from Savannah, so there's a lot of African American people there. And I was really proud of my city. I mean, we were getting along, everything was kind of going smooth there for a while. And then something happened. The media happened, and the spirits, the spirits happened.
Yeah.
But now it's
discord.
It's everything against everything. It's
yeah.
not just one thing, it's everything.
Yeah.
It's everything. And it just, none of it makes sense. And that's what Joy and I talk about. When it's confusing, when it don't make sense, then you know it's of the devil.
It's of the devil.
That's it. Hey. But thank God we're that much closer. We're that much closer. And I'm so excited because you start looking at these things and what really is there left? I mean, really? When will that last one or two be reached? I mean, in today's age where you can be out in the jungles of everywhere and have your little cell phone that picks up YouTube and can hear the gospel.
We had a social worker today that IDG, a care plan meeting we have to do every 2 weeks. She's in Kenya on a vacation or something. She's been in several places in Africa. But she joined our meeting today from a 10 in the middle of Africa.
That's great.
Our care plan meeting.
Oh, that's great.
I just thought, wow.
That's cool.
That
She was telling us she's the black rhinoceros.
Huh?
There's only like
Yeah.
so many dozens of them left in the world. She was sending us a picture of one.
Oh, cool. Wow.
It's just, you know, when that trumpet sounds, you know, it's going to be heard all over the world. And it's going to be the most exciting thing for God's people. But it's going to be the most horrific, terrible sound for all these that have played a game and has just refused and rejected Christ.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know,
It is. It is. We need to be interceding, praying the Lord of harvest to send forth the laborers. Because, hey, it's up to us, church, how long labor lasts. We want to usher in that new age. You know, wrap this sucker up.
I was listening to a Derek Prince sermon, and he said, "You want Jesus to come back quicker? Get out there and tell more people."
That's it. That's it. Put it out there.
Give the gospel to the whole world.
Yeah.
Put it out there. I mean, look how far Facebook alone reaches. I don't know how many 100 friends I have on Facebook. I don't know. Just okay. And you put something on there. You get the gospel shared. Who's to say they won't take this video and share it with their 100 or thousands of friends? And then they share it with, you know, I mean, look how far it can travel just with the click of a button. With the click of a button, you can share the gospel.
I was telling Marilyn that the other day. I said, you know, those little things that I always share.
Yeah.
And I always put the scripture.
Yeah.
I mean, I get those off of the Holy Bible. I can pick the scripture, and I can pick my background, put them on Facebook, and I've got 2 or 3 people that are like faithful followers that can grab it and share it.
That's great.
And I'm like, that word is getting, I put it on here, they put it on there, who else is getting it?
That's it.
I'm waiting for it to come back around. You know, so I go, I did that. You know, wow, I wonder how far it went. But you're right,
it's simple. It's simple.
It is.
It's very simple.
So,
everybody can be an evangelist. You can be a Facebook evangelist. Just send it on. Send it on down the line. You know? It's up to us. Yeah. I know it's, I feel like we went through a lot, but it's kind of short time-wise. We're going to wrap up a little early because that's what I got tonight. I ain't going no further than what I got, y'all. So, Facebook, YouTube, we love you. God loves you. There ain't a thing you can do about it. We'll see y'all Saturday.